Her name is Sophie. She is 44 years old. She grew up knowing three things about her father: that he had left when she was 3, that he had never tried to contact her, that he had chosen, clearly and completely, not to be her father. Her mother told her this many times, in many ways, across 40 years. What Sophie discovered at 44, in a single phone call, is that not one of those three things was true. And what happened to her mother when the truth arrived, her mother never saw coming. Today, we are talking about one of the most specific and devastating forms of family betrayal. Not the betrayal of a partner, not the betrayal of a sibling. The betrayal of a parent who rewrites history. The parent who does not simply lie about what happened, but constructs an entire alternative version of reality and installs it inside the child so completely that the child builds their identity on top of it. Dark psychology calls this narrative hijacking. And it is one of the most total forms of psychological control that exists in a family system, because it does not control behavior. It controls belief. Sophie's mother did not lie once. She did not lie occasionally. She maintained a complete alternative narrative for 40 years. A narrative so internally consistent, so emotionally reinforced, so embedded into everyday life, soft, that Sophie never questioned it. Not once, until the day she did. Dark psychology identifies 5 mechanisms in a history rewriting parent. All 5 were present. The first, selective omission with emotional loading. The parent does not invent everything. They take real events and remove specific pieces. Her father did leave the home when she was 3. That part was true. What was removed consistently for 40 years was why. The second, preemptive discrediting. Before the child is old enough to question anything, the parent installs a filter. If he ever tells you his version, remember, he abandons you. Do you see what this does? It creates a lie with an immune system. Any future truth is already labeled as manipulation. The third, identity fusion. Sophie did not just believe the story. She built herself around it. Her independence, her self-reliance, her difficulty trusting men who made promises. All of it constructed on something that was not true. The fourth, emotional punishment for curiosity. Every question was met with pain, tears, withdrawal, hurt, and over time, curiosity disappears. The fifth, the controlled witness network. Everyone told the same story. Grandparents, aunts, family friends. There was no outside perspective, no exit. Warm, intimate. Sophie is precise about the wound. She has spent 2 years in therapy learning how to name it, because this kind of wound resists simple language. It is not just absence. It is something more specific. The theft of her own history. Every decision she made was made on a false map. Every relationship approached with pre-installed suspicion. Her loneliness was not her nature. It was constructed. Very controlled delivery. She told me about the phone call. She found him through a cousin, a woman who had stayed in contact with both sides of the family and who eventually decided she was too old to keep managing everyone else's silence. Sophie called the number. He answered on the second ring. And in the first 4 minutes, 3 things happened that dismantled 40 years of reality. He knew her birthday, not just the date, the year, the hospital, the name she almost had. He told her he had written every year for 18 years. Letters returned, unopened, in her mother's handwriting. And then he asked, "Did your mother ever give you the box?" There was a box. She found it that night in a wardrobe she had never been allowed to open as a child, behind winter coats. 18 years of letters, every birthday, every Christmas, some with photographs, some with questions. Are you happy? A father asking for 18 years if his daughter was happy, and a daughter who believed he had never thought of her at all. She did not confront her mother that night. She went home. She sat with the box for 3 days before she could open it. Then she read every letter, in order, starting from the first, written to a 3-year-old girl who would never read it. She told me she cried in a way she never had before, not exactly grief, something else, soft, like a wall collapsing. Dark psychology calls this narrative archaeology, the process of excavating the self from under someone else's story. Her therapist told her it takes approximately 1 year of healing for every decade the lie existed. Sophie's lie lasted 40 years. She confronted her mother 6 months later. She placed the box on the table. Her mother looked at it for a long time, and then she said, flat controlled, I did what I had to do. No denial, no confusion, no apology, just certainty. Controlled explanation. Dark psychology calls this the moral fortress. When the lie collapses, the parent retreats into justification. I was right. I had reasons. I protected you. Look directly. She lied to keep her daughter close, to be the only parent, to be irreplaceable. And the lie, Slynel, cost her exactly that. Sophie does not hate her. She is precise about that. What she has now is distance. Permanent distance. Because the one thing required to repair it is the one thing her mother cannot give. Her father is now in her life. It is careful. It is complicated. But it is real. A lie told to protect a relationship will eventually destroy it. Not emotionally, structurally. 40 years held the story together, and then it didn't. Very soft. You believed what you were given. The truth did not destroy you. It explained you. Tell me something. Have you ever discovered that your past was not yours? Not a small detail, a foundation. Have you ever found the box? Tell me below, because some stories don't just change the past. They change who you thought you were.